Good evening, Rush Nation. It's me, your boy, the host, the hat rack with a heart of gold, the Joel Hewitts, joined as always by the other one, Alex Can't See the Woods for the Trees, and Pete, the off-season champion. How the devil are we doing, boyos?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to see Alex
Excellent.
back. Always nice
It
to see
is
that
good to see
face.
him back. I know, yeah. Look, a bit more beard growth has come through as well. Really ruggeding it up, ready for the autumnal weather coming through. You're a flannel shirt away from cutting wood, aren't you?
Yeah, like we're getting there. I've got the logs already in for winter so that I can put them on the log burner. Like I think I'm just gonna grow it out and we'll just like see how long we can get it before the end of the season, and we'll fully just embrace the winter period.
Nice. By the
100%
last
agree.
week, you'll
Pete,
be
do the
wearing a
same.
really small beanie and playing a ukulele for us. I can't wait.
Ooh, that'd be nice. Yeah, get yourself a nice craft beer.
Yeah.
And we catch any football over the weekend? Anybody? No.
No, was there any on this weekend?
Couple of things. Different countries, all sorts going on.
Okay.
But yeah, so welcome everybody again to the 5 Yard Rush NFL podcast. Super long name, not very catchy, but still does the trick, doesn't it? Got a bunch of stuff to talk about this week. Mostly talking about the week that's passed. A little bit of news, a little bit of Now You See Me, and then we'll be talking about the pick 'em at the end. But as always, we are kicking. With the bangers and trash. Maybe I should do a separate drop for that, considering it is the weekly segment that keeps kicking us off from this. I'm just going to start us off. I didn't write in the notes here, but 2:30 kickoff. Banger, innit?
Yeah.
Like, see you later, family. 7 hours of football just became like 11 hours of football. Woo-hoo. Bye, kids. And what, first one in Ireland, I mistakenly got them wrong a few times about what country they were part of. And I thought it was great. I thought they like put up a show. It's off to a good start when the very first play is Aaron Rodgers getting sacked.
Yeah.
Results aside, it was just good to see. Straight through, rolled him up. Okay, put everything down. This is one that we need to keep an eye on. I was pretty glued to it. Often you'll find international games not so much. We don't often get the greatest teams, and I don't know if Rodgers had signed for the Steelers when like this deal would have like gone through to bring the Steelers across, because it'll have been in the wings like way back when. Obviously, Rodgers was taking his time to like sign a deal as well. And the Vikings, although they looked great last year, did they get that off the back of that really? And then JJ McCarthy, gets injured and they've had a bit of a struggle. Very possibly. I did see that they elected to play the two games back to back, obviously in two different countries. So in Ireland and now this coming week in Tottenham, because they wanted to avoid the away games at Pittsburgh and at Cleveland, which I quite like. I never really thought of it in that way. Like, oh yeah, absolutely, we don't want to go to the Dog Pound. We would very much prefer to go to a massive neutral stadium like London or like Dublin. Also, shout out to I've never seen the Dublin Stadium before, but like whenever they kicked off, it just had like beautiful skyline like behind it instead of the horrible like iron paradise that you end up getting in a lot of NFL games. It was just gorgeous. And boy, did they like talking about the weather. The guys in the booth. I think Greg Olson definitely mentioned it. Regardless of what it was sunny. It's like a classic sunny day, beautiful for football. And then it got like foggy. It's like classic foggy weather, beautiful for football. God bless Greg Olson. I don't think he's seen weather before. This might be his first time.
Used to play in a dome.
Did anyone else watch the international game?
Yeah, I did. I missed the early. I missed probably the first quarter and a half, and then had to play catch up. But it was an entertaining game. The atmosphere was bouncing in Croke Park. I think it always helps when you've got a standing area as well. Gives it a real kind of sense of energy, because people want to just keep moving and keep that noise up. And like them just, even the commentary just shutting up to listen to everybody sing along to Neil Diamond as well, and just taking that spirit in was good. Also a big fan of the spectator tush push. Did you see that? We were doing a tush push, and Aaron Rodgers just like, yeah, good job, lads.
Yeah,
I don't need to be involved in this.
Yeah. Rodgers was like weirdly animated, like when he threw the absolute bomb to DK, who like ran 81 yards into the end zone. Before DK had made it 40 of those 80 yards, Rodgers was all smiles, pointing at the sideline. He was hands in the air and all this stuff. And then DK did what he did, running a straight line, and just after 70 yards of absolutely legging it, just power through the last defender that was there. Beautiful, beautiful thing to see. We were surprised last week. I'm still surprised now. The Vikings were favorite in that game with a backup QB, with a Steelers home game, which I say in air quotes, but actually Ireland are a Steelers like nation. Is ridiculous how backed they were. They were saying, oh, it felt like a 70-30 split, which felt about right even from watching it at home. I was thoroughly shocked that a lot of people thought the Vikings were going to do that one. I was dumbfounded that a lot of people thought the Vikings were going to do that one, to be fair.
Yeah. Completely agree. And we called it last week. So the atmosphere there was going to lift it. And I think Rodgers plays to those types of crowds, doesn't he, Alex? He's a showman. So when he's getting that atmosphere there, he'll really play up to it.
And Gainwell, just brief shout out to him before we move on to one of you guys. Showed up, didn't he? It next man up mentality is fantastic. The teams that do the best are the ones with depth. And I'm just having a look here. 19 carries, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. You got to love it. He got 6 receptions for 35. He just like MVP-ish kind of game from him. I think it'll be difficult. Or I guess they'll still rotate backs over there, but I think he's definitely giving himself way more carries, even when everybody's healthy.
Yeah, and it helps that Caleb Johnson keeps fluffing his lines and just going, I know you want to keep giving me tries, but I'm just going to keep screwing it up. And he's just not. I don't get it. He was so good in college, and I was so excited for what he could be, and he's just. I don't know. It's like his head's gone, and he just can't do anything right. Since that kick return mess up, nothing seems to be working for him, and I just don't see him. If he wasn't a second rounder, they'd have cut bait by now.
Yeah, quite possibly. Steelers known for drafting well at skill positions. Often you'll get a good running back and a good receiver out of them. They'll just find some like weird, like usually quite late rounder. But yeah, I guess we'll see. But Kenneth Gainwell, good effort. Alex, what have you got this week for us? Bangers and trash.
Let's start with let's do it. The Chargers O-line is awful. And you both knew this was coming. And thank you. You both knew this was coming. You both adamantly watched this Giants Chargers game, and both of you have got things to say about the Giants, I think, probably as well. But as soon as Joe Alt went out, it just crumbled. And it was not something that anyone wants from their O-line whatsoever. If we're going to highlight one guy specifically, I want to highlight Bradley Bozeman, but I know it's harsh to just pick on one guy specifically. Bradley Bozeman is ranked 48 out of 48 in terms of centers used this season.
Top 48 then.
Yeah, he's made it. He's made it. That's not. By the way, that's not just in pass blocking. That's in run blocking as well. He's 48 overall. He is not really good at one and really bad at the other. He is absolutely awful, and he's obviously your centre, so the linchpin of that entire operation there. As soon as we knew it was going to be difficult with Slater going really early on in the season and not getting any snaps, but then as soon as Joe Alt moved over to that left tackle spot, everyone was like, right, okay, we're fine. Joe Alt's great. He's absolutely unbelievable. He's arguably top 2, top 3 tackles in this league, and even before he left, he had a PFF passing grade of 83.5, which is unbelievable. And then you go for everybody else through the rest of it. Johnson had 48.7, Bozeman had 24.6, Slayer had 29.8. Pipkins did very well over on the right-hand side. He had 59.6, but still had 3 QB pressures. And then you've got Austin Deculus, who had 6 pressures, no sacks, but my God, if it wasn't for the fact that Justin Herbert can get out of situations like this and use his legs and throws the ball ridiculously quickly, it would have been awful. And a lot of Chargers fans online on your X's or your Twitters and your blue skies are all sitting there and saying, this is why we bottled last year. This is why the comeback happened in the playoffs. This is why this happened, is because this O-line is not good enough for us to mount an attacking front.
Yeah, I was just looking at this for time to throw, and I think he is one of the worst in the league just because he can get the ball out fast, but in terms of protection has not been ideal for him. You've got one of the strongest O-lines without injuries, one of the strongest O-lines in the league, because those 2 tackles are as good as it gets. Obviously, the center's not good. It seems like a good center's hard to find, as the song goes.
That's what they say.
Yeah. But with the tackles that are there, which have been the strength, where they go, it puts so much pressure on the internal offensive line then to try and cover and to help in the double chips and things like that against elite defensive ends. I really fear for what's going to happen to that team for the rest of the season. I think it's going to be a real uphill battle now, which is a shame because you've got so much talent and so much promise there. Hopefully they can overcome it, but I'm skeptical.
Herbert getting a lot of MVP talk over the first few weeks as well. He's been chucking it about. Yeah, he's been under pressure and everything, but he's looked as good, if not better, than he ever has done. It's just like what Alex is saying. He's being let down elsewhere, and what can you do in that situation, especially with something like a center who it's such a pivotal role. You can't just drag anybody in off the street to be able to do it. You've got to have that kind of connection with him. So the fact that he has been able to do that with him screams volumes. I'm just having a look here. He's 200 yards, but he was under 50% through 2 interceptions. Got sacked twice for a loss of 17 yards. And, a lot of that, well, not a lot of that, pretty much all of that isn't on him. It could also be that it was the conflict game for Alex, where the defense that Alex has been talking up for 7 weeks now just absolutely showed up.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll straight into it since we're talking about the game anyway. I spent pretty much the full early slate of games watching the Giants Chargers game because I have a vested interest, it would appear, in Jackson Dart and Scatboo. I thought Dart was perfectly okay. He showed it was pretty fun. He didn't blow the doors off or anything. I think his first actual passing touchdown was just a shovel pass. His first actual touchdown he ran in. And he and Scatboo seem to have a good time hanging out together. I'm just seeing as well, Jackson Dart had 10 carries for 54 yards. So that's what you want. You want a bit of elusiveness. You can see now why having Russ Wilson there is good, because he looked very early Russell Wilson in some plays where you could just see him moving around. I fear for his necklace all the time. that thing looks very expensive. It is huge. Like, they won't lose it on the field, but that thing's coming off at some point. And yeah, that New York defense. I mean, the past few weeks, Alex was absolutely been proven right. They held it together for the first half against the Chiefs last week. They went into the at the point undefeated Chargers. This was a 3-0 versus an 0-3. I'd just like to point out that there's only one person in our Pick'em league that said the Giants were going to win this.
And the worst thing is, I said on the pod last week, the Chargers are going to win this because the Giants are going to win this because I'm going to take the Jackson Dart effect and the lack of tape, and he'll have that bump for his first game because they won't have tape. I said they would, Giants would win, and then picked the Chargers because I'm an idiot, apparently.
It's crazy. You could see it as soon as it all started. There was just a bit more electricity. Everyone seemed to want to play the dart a bit more. He must just be a locker room dude.
Yeah.
Probably it doesn't hurt that like his mum was in the crowd. And I'm saying this because he wanted to impress his mother, not because they just kept showing her on TV at every moment they possibly could do for obvious reasons. So I didn't catch a lot of the other games. I went split box again. I had Red Zone on, and I was watching this and the Lions Browns game. But I was pretty much just watching the Giants Chargers, and then when ad breaks came on, just dipped over to Red Zone. But keeping it banger like. Dart looked comfortable against a tough opponent. Still sacked a bunch. I think I was just checking there. Was it 5? Oh no, that was 6 sacks for the Chargers. So we're still getting hit. Poor Tyrone Tracy. He's just not getting a look in, is he? I think Scatterbu's done it.
Yeah.
He's obviously just like sat on the sideline, just watching his starting job just get absolutely eaten alive. God bless him. But Scatterbu's the kind of player that he's just going to keep running into brick walls, and I think I can't see Scatterbu ever doing a full 17 game season. No. So Tracy, stay warmed up, mate. Chances are that you're going to go in. There's going to be the concussion counter from Not Another Teen Movie. That's going to be Scatterbu, isn't it? Please stop headbutting things. The play was over. It was a post, and you ran up to it and headbutted it. Please stop. They've just got a caveman, and I absolutely love it.
It really helps
of the game. Go on.
Sorry, it really helps that Scatterbo has a personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he was just this other milk toast kind of running back that had just walked off and was like, yeah, no, we've got some good carries, but I'm just here to learn and do that lot, then Tracy would get a lot more options. It really helps that Scatterbo is an absolute nutter.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's the in the Lion King, the 3 hyenas. He's like Ed. They get to a strap, and Scatterbu gets out of a fight and actually is biting his own leg. That's where I see it happening.
For anyone's first time watching this podcast, by the way, yes, that is not the only Lion King reference we're going to mention today. There are going to be multiple of them.
Not even the best Disney movie, but we'll save that for the Disney pod. One final fun stat from this one. Both teams punted exactly 5 times, and both teams punted for exactly 244 yards. Why? Don't know, but just I thought I'd throw that in one.
Scorigami.
It interested me. Scorigami. Yeah, should we just start using Scorigami incorrectly wherever we can do?
Yes.
Number one. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Love it.
All right, odds beat. What you got for us? Bangs and trade, baby.
It seems like a really boring person to say, but it's I'm going to say Pat Mahomes.
Never heard of her.
Yeah.
Oh, married Frank Butcher.
That's the one. Yeah. Oh, he always gets
timely British reference.
He always gets all of the attention. It's like, oh, if Pat Mahomes did that, he'd get that pass. You don't stop hearing about it for weeks, and people kind of get a bit done with hearing about Pat Mahomes references. And I get it if you're a rival, and obviously people want to see different teams go to Super Bowls. I understand all of that, but the reason we make all of these Pat Mahomes references, he gets all of this coverage, is because when he's playing well, he is so fun to watch. He makes football fun, and he hasn't for ages. This is he was. It feels like it's been a couple of years since you've gone, this is why I love watching Patrick Mahomes. He's just been a game manager. There's a defense there, and he stepped up when he's needed to. But then at the weekend, he just tore the Ravens defense a new one. And it's interesting to know because it's a very talented defense on paper. They've got a couple of injuries this game, which is worrying. It'd be interesting to see if they are genuinely a bad defense or they've just had a horrible run of matchups. Flacco, playing against Flacco is always helpful for your stat line, but they've had Hurts and the Eagles. They've had Josh Allen and the Bills. Justin Herbert and the Chargers when they had a tackle. And they've had Pat Mahomes now. No, it was the Bills, wasn't it? It was the Bills the first game. I'm getting confused. So, yeah. So that Bills, Eagles, and now the Chiefs, and just got absolutely hammered, and they're 1-3. But Mahomes really steps up, and you actually look at that team, and it's been that joke for a while of, you just give him any old body, and he'll make something happen. But he's actually got a really, really good receiving core. Like, he's number one. Rice is still to come back, and he'll be back week 7, I think.
Yeah.
He's got Worthy back now, but then all of these other bajillions of wide receivers have all been solid wide receiver 2s elsewhere, whether it's Hollywood Brown, Juju, Tyquan Thornton. And then you've got Kelsey not doing so much from a receiving point of view, but he helps with the blocking. And then you've got Rashi and you've got Worthy. He's got a lot of really, really good weapons. And if they all start to get fit, hopefully we can start to see some more of that exciting Mahomes again. And if he does really well and then just loses in like the divisional round, I'll be so happy. Because we'll see someone new in the Super Bowl, or even just in the AFC Championship game, but we can still appreciate the greatness shown in the regular season because he makes football more entertaining.
Yeah, I do wonder if they front-loaded his schedule to make it kind of more exciting. Either at this point, he's beaten 3 or 4 really good teams. Are we back to prime like Chiefs? Or he's lost a bunch, and the Chiefs have lost a bunch, and that's like, oh, will they, won't they? That kind of thing. The crazy thing is, back when it was 16 games, there was the age-old, if anyone goes 0-2, they are statistically unlikely to make the playoffs based on like how history goes. But not once when the Chiefs are 1-3 did anyone go, like statistically the teams in this position aren't likely to make the playoffs. Now quite potentially the Ravens could look like that. I've just seen Lamar Jackson's out for week 5. Which is crazy. That we've got to like check it out there every now and again. Shedeur Sanders wouldn't go and play for them because he didn't want to be a backup. He wanted to be able to get on the field, and now he's watching a backup on the field. He's 3rd in line where he is, but he could have been starting next week for the Ravens. Looked really good. Yada yada yada. Just egos getting in the way, I guess. But credit to the Chiefs. They looked like they did in the playoffs when they beat the Ravens. Like, it was like obvious. Not for 1 second did I see a Ravens comeback. I don't know what was going on there. Something isn't clicking, obviously, with Jackson getting knocked out of the game, but I don't think they looked great while he was in there. I forgot Derrick Henry wasn't injured because I just didn't see anything of him. I've not even looked at his stats. All I know is that I'm pretty certain I went up against him in fantasy and it didn't hurt as much as I expected it to.
They pulled him off the field for 4th and 1 and 3rd and 1 as well, I think, at another point.
Like, well, that's silly.
That's the most ridiculous thing. Like, that there's just trying to get too cute there from Todd Monken. You don't... Okay, he's had fumbles the last few weeks, but he's also the size of a small car. You don't take him off if you just want to get a yard. He's made for that, isn't he?
8 carries, 42 yards.
Yeah, so he's still over 5 yards a clip. It's not what you expect from him, but it's not bad, particularly against a good defense like Kansas. Unusual choice. And is it who's the back? Is it Tyler Huntley?
Cooper Rush.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're rushing now. Oh, okay, good, because Huntley's rubbish. Not that Cooper Rush is much better,
but he's watching right now. Pete. He's not got anything better.
I'm sorry,
to do.
Tyler, but you are, and you know it.
He knows. That's why he's watching.
He's just looking for advice and tips. And it'll be interesting to see how they do, and if it goes back to more of Derek, because it's not an easy matchup from a defensive point of view. Houston have got a decent defense for week 5.
Yeah, and I'm just looking for the Chiefs. They must be the primetime game. So yeah, Chiefs have got the Jags, who maybe I'll talk about the Jags in a little bit.
Well, this is what we expected from this week for the Chiefs Ravens. Is we expected Derrick Henry to get 25 carries and 150 yards. We expected them to just throw it down the road and be like, "Hey, Derrick, I know that you've had a couple of fumbles, pal, but this is a big game. You're a big game player. We really need you to perform. Let's do this. Let's really do this." And speaking of big game players, this is why the Chiefs drafted Xavier Worthy, was so that they could lob him down the field in 5 seconds. And Patrick Mahomes would just go, "Oh, I already know he's there. I'm just going to throw it, and it's fine. He'll catch it. It's Xavier. He's fine. He's gonna do it." And they did that about 8 million times this game. And so credit where credit's due. And the flip side of it, as you said, with their number 2s of Juju and Hollywood Brown, both have got 2 rings. So this isn't their first rodeo with this. They know what Patrick Mahomes is like. They know how to do this. The Chiefs are fine. The Chiefs are going to be fine. But Patrick Mahomes, great. He's so good.
Yeah.
He is, but he cost Alex Smith his job. Anyway, moving on. Alex Smith truther. He was great at the Washington football team. I'm just happy that he got to have another season after somehow, I don't know how, but Patrick Mahomes caused him to have to miss that game. Genie, Lamp, take your pick. Anyway, on to more bangers and trash. Alex, you enjoyed this week, didn't you? Because you've got the trash out the way, and everything I'm seeing from your list is bangers. So go for it.
I really did enjoy this week. And the one that I really want to give a shout out to, we've just given a shout out to a QB, so let's do another one. Drake May. He's a dog, man. He is a dude. And we said we had so much fun watching Patrick Mahomes. I had so much fun watching Drake May. I've not had fun watching the Patriots arguably ever. Even when Brady was at the peak of his power with Edelman, Gronk, all them lot, they weren't fun. They were really boring because they won every week, and it was just how is the NFL going to fix it this week or anything? That's alleged anyway. That was not actual true. Don't hit me with a slander suit. Somebody, please, Tom. I know you'd degrade to that. I know you would. But no, honestly, man, he's so good. And when you have Stephon Diggs stepping up and doing what we all know Stephon Diggs can do, it's going to really, really shine for Drake May. But this is not just this week. He was great last week. He was great the week before. The first week was a bit shaky, but he's grown into it all the way through. And I personally think, if he continues this, the Patriots will easily make the playoffs.
I mean, a few people had the Patriots as that sneaky playoff team that cooled down pretty quickly. Right, they're 2-2 now. But one thing I thoroughly enjoyed was against the Panthers, Patriot QB rushes it in. He gives it the Cam Newton Superman celebration. Cam Newton, his last team was the Patriots as well. So take from that what you will. I'm sure Cam and his podcast, not as good as ours. That's what it's called. I'm sure he's absolutely loving it as well.
Drake May said when he was coming up that Cam Newton used to be his favorite QB as well.
Wow.
So that's why he did the celebration, was like while he was growing up, Cam Newton was his, like, oh my God, I've got his pictures on my wall. I want his jersey. I want all this. So that's why he did the Superman celebration after doing a Cam Newton-esque run and doing that lot. But yeah,
it was very Cam Newton. Yeah. You know what? I've not a Drake May on my radar. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not going to stand here and be like, I absolutely agree, Alex. I paid very little to no attention to Drake May. I obviously saw that touchdown run just at the corner of my eye watching a bit of Red Zone. But I'm going to purposefully keep my eye out this week and see what you see. I'm also in the market for a fantasy QB, and Drake May appears to be available in some places. So maybe that'll happen. I'm just trying to see who he's got this week before I commit. Oh no, it's against Buffalo.
Not to steal Murph's thunder, but if you're after a QB that's going to throw 200 yards and at least 2 touchdowns, hey, and Drake May's free in your league, go grab that boy. What are we doing?
Yeah,
he's also like, and this isn't something that we should really focus on or do that lot. He's also gorgeous. Like, he's also a good-looking man.
You're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If we're ranking like handsome QBs, this is definitely getting cut out on TikTok, isn't it? If we're ranking handsome QBs, Drake May's in the conversation. We'll save it for the off season. We will rank all 32 plus backups, and we'll just see how we get along.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo gets some relevance again.
Well, it could be the Garoppolo Award, even though he probably looks like a bag of spanners now. You know, it's been some time, hasn't it? Although I bet somewhere there's an oil painting of Jimmy Garoppolo aging, and he's just staying exactly the same as he was.
Jimmy Garoppolo this season is going to go through the in Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, where there's the Schmeagol montage where he is originally a hobbit and then he turns into Gollum.
He's just carrying a little terry towel over to Stafford.
Skin's grey. It's just knuckle drop. Yes, that's why you're here for this pod. Pete, what you got for us? You got some bangers or trash?
Trash.
Positive, bring it down.
But a couple of bangers, got to mix it up. Geno Smith, what a waste of a good performance from everybody else in that team. Like, Ashton Jonty had a phenomenal game. Max Crosby was lights out. He was lighting that. How they only got 1 sack, I don't know, but he got his first ever career interception, and the amount of pressures, he was just wreaking havoc. Particularly that first half. They got an interception. The Bears kept getting short fields because he threw 3 interceptions. 2 of them were the exact same pass, picked off by the exact same person. Kevin Byard jumped in for interception, and then, I'm not sure if it was the next series or 2 series later, the same pass to the same area, Byard made the exact same play and got a second interception. He had an utter nightmare when the rest of his team, even his O-line, who were supposed to be good and haven't been through 3 weeks, really stepped up today. And now that might be because the Bears O-line does not know how to get pressure on a QB at all. Particularly without Grady Jarrett, they can't get any pressure on a QB. But they protected him. His running game was good. The defense was fantastic all the way through. And he was awful. 14 of 21 for 117 yards and 3 interceptions. It shows how well the defense was, that with that short field, they were a kick away, a blocked field goal away from winning the game. He really, really let the side down, which is a shame as well, because I wasn't expecting quite that from Geno, and I suppose from the Bears secondary as well, because they obviously showed up, and there was 2 for Byard, and Tyreek Stevenson got 1 as well. So they played well, and there was a forced fumble on Gianti as well. That's all I'm going to say about the Bears. They did enough to win, but Geno did more for the Bears' victory than the Bears offense did.
So Geno, very likely the Bears MVP. Did they give the Bears go and give him the game ball?
Yeah.
That makes sense because you threw them so many.
Room.
They just needed to give them back. Like, sorry, mate, we took all of these from you. Here you go. This one's yours, and this one's yours, and this one's yours.
Just buried him in balls.
Did you? That's
Snip
big
that
time.
one out.
Yeah. Did you watch the Bears game with a close eye? I don't know what was televised and what wasn't this week, so I was just in one place really.
I did, with a very, very close eye. It was quite interesting because they lost Darnell Wright, their starting right tackle, on the. He was kind of questionable all week because he hurt himself last week, and then he didn't get to play. So they missed him, so they had in a rookie-ish tackle in Theo Benedict, who is so highly touted that last year he didn't get drafted and he didn't even get picked up as an undrafted free agent and was playing in the CFL. And then the Bears got him from the CFL for this year. So they had him and and Braxton Jones to start with, starting. Benedict on the right got demolished by Max Crosby. It was a bloodbath. So then Braxton Jones, the starting left tackle, got booted. Benedict moved over to the left, and Ozzy Trapillo, the rookie second rounder, who hasn't even started, he hasn't even suited up all season, came in on the right tackle, and he played really well. I thought he had a really, really good game, and it kind of balanced it out. And a really positive game-winning drive, and the block at the end was some really nice play. So it was a really entertaining game, but it wasn't a high-quality game offensively, really, from either side. But I don't get why they let Gino throw when they couldn't stop the run. Gianti was just having his way with them. Just let him run. They could have just run the ball every single snap for the entire game, and the Bears could do nothing to stop it, which is what you wanted from Gianti when he came in. So it's going to be exciting to see how that goes.
Yeah, and now you guys have got the week off, if I'm not mistaken, the Bears. We're finally going into some bye weeks. So look out, fantasy football fans. It's about to get real rocky. Yeah. And then I completely lost who Vegas are going against. Oh, Vegas Indy. That might not be bad. But yeah, the Gino thing baffles me because he was kind of the great news, everybody. Don't worry. Vegas are going to be okay. They got Geno Smith. There was genuine chat where they're like, yeah, they did it. We don't have to worry about them drafting a QB. They've got Geno Smith. And Geno Smith started to look like Jets Geno Smith, not Seahawks Geno Smith, which is quite worrying for them over there in Vegas at 1-3 in a tough division. I think you're already talking season over, really. Rebuild. There's not a lot that you can do. The Chiefs are on the up, the Chargers are on the up, even the Broncos are on the up after a pretty savage win this week. Which actually leads me to one of my bangers: Monday Night Football doubleheader. I watched both of them in the game in 40 this morning, and good Lord, watching Bo Nix, and I've put, quote, beat the brakes off Cincinnati. And I was saying to Alex before the show started that it really had that longest yard. Oh, you've got to play a pickup game to gain your confidence, to go into the rest of the season. So you go up, you absolutely hammer the other orange team, securing you as the greater orange team. Bo Nix looked absolutely fantastic. That's the guy that we kind of expected him to be for the previous 3 weeks. Unfortunately, it's all smoke and mirrors because it's the Bengals defense.
Yeah.
So it is a massive shame. And if I'm not mistaken, he's got a tough week ahead of him. Detroit. Oh no, that's the Bengals. They're definitely going to win that, aren't they? I think it might be the Chiefs. I can't see it now, but yeah. Oh no, Philly. I knew it was somebody big. So yeah, at least he's got that confidence. It's very possible that they can at least show up against the Eagles. But yeah, my banger was Monday Night Football. Thoroughly enjoyed every snap from the Broncos game. And then one of my favorite things on this earth is when two really poor teams go against each other. One of my favorite games of all time is like 2013 Jets Titans. Utter terrible, but so many turnovers. I don't think anyone scored. I still think it might still be going on. They just kept crashing into each other. It was like children learning to play football for the first time. So when you've got an 0-3 team against an 0-3 team, you bet you're behind. I'm watching that like a hawk. Add in that probably the nicest rivals gear that Nike have dropped. With the Dolphins happen to be on display as well. Really good. They both played like something was on the line. It wasn't, but boy, did they make it look exciting. If you showed that game to anybody, it didn't tell them the record or like what time of year it was or anything, you could go, wow, that was playoff level like rivalry. But that's because there were two bad teams. So that it's brought right down. You're watching championship football. We're talking Sunday league, just two teams smashing into each other, and everyone looked great. Obviously, major injury from there, which I guess like we'll just go straight into. I know we're talking about it as something a little bit later on in the news, but Tyreek Hill, good God,
that was rough.
That was sideways and pointing in a weird direction. And he's sat there and with two hands, he's like, "Oh my God, look at my leg!" Like it was a tough one. Is that career ending? I know it's definitely season ending, but he's advanced in years. It'll take him the rest of the season plus some change to recover just from that. Then your comeback year isn't particularly good. He was already looking to get traded. Is that the end of Tyreek Hill? I don't want it to be. Dude's got like a legendary neck. He's like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he's just juggernaut without the need for a helmet.
Yeah.
I think it is because for a player that relies so much on his speed and his cutting ability, I don't see how he's going to be able to do that anymore. And I wonder if he had some kind of like final destination type premonition. Because remember a few years ago, he said, I'm going to play till I'm 30 and then I'm going to retire. I'm only going to play till 30 and then I'm going to retire. He's 31 this year. So he's like, I should have just given up in the off season and I could have just been able to walk to the shops without for the rest of my life it like hurting when it gets cold. Because that is not fun.
One thing with it we'll see, because if like his 8 children are all born at the same time,
10,
and then like 10, sorry, his 10 kids are all born at the same time, and like his house is just full of screaming children, I would imagine that a year on the Jets is better than that.
Yes,
quite motivating to get out the house, isn't it? Like, you just got a lot of kids. Like the amount of times that guy must hear "dad" in a day. I've only got 2, and good luck. Like the amount of times I can hear it is ridiculous. Obviously, he has a bigger house, and he probably has 18 nannies for 10 kids or whatever that may be. One thing I'm really, really happy about. Last week, I was the like working title was week 3s and weak knees before anything had happened to any player. And I even referenced it in last week's pod where I was like, I called it week 3s and weak knees. Luckily, none of the injuries were on a knee. Also, I changed that out at the last second because it wouldn't have made any sense. But boy, did I could have predicted like somebody took a knee injury last week. That would have been weird. But yeah, that's really rough. I thought outside of that, the Dolphins really looked all right and stepped up. There is definitely something wrong with Tua, though. He's taken, like too many hits in the head with a snake.
Yeah.
Disney reference. There is an interview with him after the game, and he thanks God for keeping everybody safe. just rattling off sports person nonsense, and the gotta thank God that everyone's safe. Like we may have like had that game, but thank God everyone's safe. Meanwhile, Tyreek Hill doesn't have a knee. Or he does, but he's got like knees like a giraffe. It's the
Yeah.
wrong way, isn't it?
Why was he laughing on the way off?
Because he's going to get paid and he doesn't have to play for the Dolphins.
He's a lunatic. I think he has a history of violence and being a very aggressive man. And I wonder if it was a bravado thing of just being like, I don't care. Look how tough I am.
Kind of guy that would bite his own thumb off.
Say again?
Kind of guy that would bite his own thumb off.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Just to show. Yeah. But yeah, Monday Night Football, thoroughly entertaining. Or Tuesday morning football if you live in Blighty like we do. Hi, everybody I work with. I was definitely busy in that time in my calendar. I'm just having a look. We're on the positivity. Now. Go on.
Well, there's a positivity on that game as well that we didn't mention. Darren Waller. Out of his rocking chair, took off his cardigan, scored 2 touchdowns.
Oh, loves it, doesn't he?
His first game back and 2 touchdowns. Bananas.
Cuckoo. Yeah, very happy to see him. I think we jokingly talked about him far too much in the off-season because that was like one of the only stories that came out one week was that he was like eligible to practice. So one of our first like big stories was Darren Waller can practice, and we laughed about it. And then he comes back, banger, just like 2 TDs. What an absolute legend.
I imagine he's the type of player that everyone's going to pick up. Like in a fantasy league, we need to get Darren Waller. He's got 2 touchdowns. Tight ends hard to draft. They've got rid of Hill, so we've got Darren Waller and only him and Waddle now as receiving options. And then he'll probably do nothing for the rest of the game. He's just going to go play bingo somewhere, and that'll be
good. Definitely. Yeah, I bet he's got his own special pen.
Yeah.
Is he the 2025 Isaiah Likely?
Oh,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. There's always one weird breakout tight end, isn't there?
Yeah. Because, you can't really say Darren Waller's a breakout tight end anymore, can we? Like, he's a breakdown tight end, maybe.
He broke out. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. There's an answer on a postcard from Murph. There you go. If he listens to this podcast, if he listens to this pod, and then obviously does a segment on breakout tight ends for you guys in fantasy world, there we go.
He's taking notes, isn't he?
That's where it's come from.
Thursday night show. There's going to be a whole segment on who's this year's Isaiah Likely, and the winner will be Darren Waller.
On the Murph reference, I remember the very first book that he wrote. His 5-yard rush fantasy handbook. Yep. He sent it to me to look and proofread and to check, and he made a big thing about these tight ends, and he's like, I'm way down on Darren Waller. After Darren Waller had that mammoth year and everyone drafted him in the 3rd round, he was like, it just doesn't repeat. You see this time and time again, and it doesn't repeat. I was like, no, he was so good. He's such an important part of that offense. He's going to be, I don't get this thing, you should take it out of the book. He's like, no, I won't. And then next season, Waller did nothing. He was pants. I was like, okay, Murph, I'll shut up now. I'm not going to correct you anymore.
And just 7 years later, you were proven right.
Yeah. Actually, I think you'll find.
That's right. Yeah, we're the flagship show now, Murph. I mean, sticking on Monday Night Football, but we may as well wrap up your list here. In your trash, you had something from the Jets.
Yes. I could just put the Jets in general.
No, it's all right.
But 3 turnovers for all fumbles, including that kickoff for us to start the second half. The ball security was awful throughout the game. They just couldn't get anything done. And they had a couple of really exciting plays, but 12 penalties for 101 yards and 6 pre-snap flags is just screams a badly coached team. I don't know about you, but when you see whenever I see my team and you get the flags, just like, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be timing. The best teams don't get pre-snap flags. And to get 6 in one game is abysmal. That's poor coaching. That's poor practice and poor training. And I didn't think they would have that with Aaron Glenn, but apparently I was wrong. And apart from the really good touchdown catch from Garrett Wilson and the fantastic breakaway run from Justin Fields, which is that typical play of I can play meh for most of the game with just check down. That's all he did all game. But then I'll break away that one, and everyone just be like, but it could. That
there's something there.
Yeah, that's his Tobias Spoonke, isn't it? It's not worked for the other teams, but it could work for us. And yeah, I think apart from that, I didn't rate them. The game was entertaining, but it wasn't high on quality. And I think it's just another lost season for the Jets.
Somebody had to go 0-4, and they did.
Yeah, exactly that.
Looking at everything that we've got back out there, I'm going to throw out, I've been pretty positive so far. Everything has been banger after banger after banger. The one trash thing that I've put in our notes this week is tie games. 80-point banger, and we're left just like, that's it. We just stop playing.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, everybody. Let's go home. Nothing to do with it. A few suggestions have been bound out there on various social medias. I put down penalty shootout because that makes sense. Now, do I mean English penalty shootout? Why not? Let's just bring a proper net out. Let's see if Swigger's not going in the top corner. It's just change sports. If you've got to this point and you can't complete a game at your own sport, we have to switch it up.
Yeah.
So there's that. Or take anything from the random skills drills from the Pro Bowl games and make them do one of those. You spin a wheel, and then whichever one it lands on, so it could be like hit the targets. Every game has to have the target swinging ready. It could be the assault course. It just could be something. I don't care, but we have to do something against. I don't mind a tie game, but when it's like 40 apiece, just let's keep going. I think the likely and best suggestion probably came from. I just saw it on the Pat McAfee show where they were like, "Get your kickers out." They go from 40, then 45, then 50, then 55. And you just keep going until someone loses. Hopefully they cross over and they have to kick over one another. That'd be cool. But yeah, trash. Don't like a tie game, especially when Green Bay should have absolutely destroyed Dallas. Not happy because the Michael Parson Bowl just left us all wondering what if, and they're not going to meet another time this year, are they? So that's it.
No. Yeah, completely in agreement with everything that you said. And I like the kickoff idea a lot because it does make for drama, particularly if you're getting the defense lined up, special teams lined up to try and block it as well, to add an extra level of excitement to it.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, like block kicks and stuff, just been absolutely great. I've very much enjoyed it. But also, Brett Coleman, the YouTuber / social media person that breaks down a lot of stuff, and I enjoy a lot of his content, pointed out that this is the first year where kickers have been able to smooth the ball down and get everything prepared days in advance to a game. And that's why we're seeing field goals from a lot further out. So they used to have the game ball, and then the poor lad that had to scrub it down had to do it on the day. You get an hour before kickoff, so he's there busy doing it. They've changed the rule so they can prepare the kicker ball in advance to showing up to the game. So they've worn it in. They've done everything that they need to. They've probably been able to test it a bunch of times to see, right, put a bit more air in, take it out, scrub it down. And that's why we're getting such massive kicks. There is, I think somebody reset the record, did they? 65 yards outside was this weekend.
1 yard behind, I think.
Was it?
I think the 66 was Tucker's record. So just 1 yard off.
Fair enough. Obviously, Yaban in the preseason hit 70, but they don't count that because it was preseason and no one cares. But yeah, so the likelihood of further and further kicks is just going to keep going because of that. Anyway, that's everything I've got for Bangs and Trash. I think, Alex, you're the only one with anything left on the board.
Yeah, so we've already kind of discussed defensive ones, so I'll leave the fact that cornerbacks were really good this year and really like they've been really vital because they are the second, arguably the second most vital thing in the league. Really, I want to move on to Colts wide receiver Adonai Mitchell.
Okay.
And I don't know if any of you have seen this.
No.
And if you haven't, I highly suggest everybody pause this podcast, open up another tab, go onto YouTube, and type in Adonai Mitchell wide receiver drop, because I
didn't even
did
know
not
his
have
name.
I didn't have a lot of joy this weekend. My Newcastle United team lost in the 96th minute and got beat by Arsenal. My Chargers team got beat by the Giants, but Adonai Mitchell made my Sunday. He was very, very funny. He ran 76 yards. It was a great catch. He did a lovely little spin move. Awesome fact. Did there, and then dropped the ball. Just dropped the ball. It looked like he was trying to move it so he could do a outward celebration of somewhat. And in that movement, just got butterfingers. And I'm not talking about the chocolate bar in America. He just dropped that thing. It was awful.
It was great.
It was awfully great, and that's why it's written down on the sheet as a bang ash, because it's a banger, but it's also a load of trash, because that was a banger. But then also, you had the fact that would have been his first NFL touchdown.
Oh no!
Yeah,
and then they then had the Colts had a 53-yard go-ahead touchdown, like literally the next quarter, and that had to be pulled back because of Mitchell's holding penalty. And we're not even, and I'm not talking about one of them soft ones where it's like, and then the referee, you get a flag for it because like it's right in front of the ref's face. No, this is one of the biggest holds I've seen this year that's actually been called. So fair play for the referee, but like he just did not have a day. Bless him. Really, really bless him. But the drop was fun. However, the holding call cost your team a go-ahead touchdown, and arguably maybe the result, because if you scored your touchdown and then you hadn't held, they would have got 14 extra points and probably beat the Rams this week, and we would be talking about a 4-0 Colts team, and the breakout player this week would have been Adonai Mitchell instead of Darren Waller.
Gosh, in a split reality somewhere, our podcast is talking about Adonai Mitchell and not Darren Waller. I don't want to live in that world. I'm not going to lie to
you. He has a history of brain dead mistakes, so it's not really a surprise for him. I'd be interested to see if he suits up next week, or if he gets a boot to the practice squad, or just sat down. Right, you're not playing next week, as a sharp reprimand from Steichen.
Special teams. That's where he's going.
Yes.
That's your next step down. Stick him over there. There was a point like when he like held it out and it slipped through his fingers. I thought, oh, he's already got it across the line, and then he was just trying to like re-secure it. But then like watching the replay and seeing that it fell out his hand and then hit the deck, and then he dove for it again. Like when he dove for it, I thought, oh, okay, he dropped it, but then he got it again, caught his own fumble before it went out the back. And it wasn't until like the third replay where I was like, oh man, he'd like slipped and then he dove on it and then it went out. It was just like a comedy of errors. It's like a Benny Hill theme type situation with that one. So God bless him. We are rooting for you, Mr. Mitchell, but just not your week, mate. Maybe another time. But anyway, let's switch up a little bit and flip to a bit of news.
Yes, sir. News from the underground.
There we go. Everyone's favorite news drop. The news put together this week by Pete. We've discussed a few things in here, but please feel free to drop some news.
Usual news. Everybody's injured. There was some awful injuries this week. Malik Neighbours, is done for the season with a torn ACL. That was rough as well. They need to sort out the turf because he looked so innocuous, didn't he? It's like at first you'd see it and think, oh, he's diving for the catch, and then he just fell through the air because he was running and his legs went, nope, and just completely gave up as he went through. It's gutting because we've talked about how exciting it was for with Cam and the potential for Jackson to grow in this offense, and then to lose someone like Malik Neighbours is devastating for that team. He's so important to them in terms of the targets and reception, what he does for them, and they needing to dig themselves out of a hole now. That's them done. I would generally put a fork in them now because I just don't see it with Darius Slayton and the other receivers that they've got trying to be the driving force for them. It's not good at all. Other injuries on that, Lamar Jackson left early with that hamstring injury. There was a bit of me watching it thinking, have they just pretended he's injured because they're getting blown out by the Chiefs and they've just sat him down so he doesn't, they know we're not going to win, so let's not get him injured. And I really thought it was just, he might have tweaked something, and then a couple of days later, oh no, it'll be fine. And actually, all of a sudden, he's not playing week 5.
Kayfabe, WWE, Seth Rollins pretending that he's got crutches. Yeah, I'm there for it.
Yeah. They put a little towel around his leg. They didn't take him to a hospital or anything else, or put him in the locker room. Just put a towel around his leg just to keep up the kayfabe.
It's like when James Brown used to, somebody come on stage and put the cape on his back, and he'd just start looking at it, and then all of a sudden he'd get back up and he'd be having a good go at
it. So that was a shame. Obviously, we've talked about Tyreek as well. They're probably the biggest injuries, and the tackle whose name temporarily escapes me for the Titans, who went out at the end of the game.
I didn't see this.
Not for the Titans. Sorry, it was the Titans tackle went out right at the end of the game. The name escapes me. I'll come back to it. But it'll be a big miss for them as well. Colin Miller. Is that what I'm thinking of? I think Colin Miller. It might even be the Raiders. My brain's completely done. It wasn't. It was the Raiders game. I was wondering why I was watching the Titans. Colton Miller, the tackle for the Raiders, went out right at the very end of the game. And I think
the absolute savage. I was wondering why I was watching the Titans. I enjoyed that quite a lot.
Titans fans will be thinking the same as well.
They weren't watching. They gave up.
No, they were just spending time with their family, weren't they?
It was a really, really nice Sunday for anybody who lives and supports Tennessee.
There was it's quite funny, the AJ Brown tweet as well. After Hurts, somehow the Eagles won in the second half. He completed 0 passes, and they had -1 yard of total offense for the entire second half, and they still managed to beat the Bucs, which is, it's -1 because I think they had 33 yards of offense in total, and then they lost 34 because they ran away at the end to run the clock down on that final play. So they took a big negative play, but even still, that is ropey. And then AJ Brown came up with the cryptic tweet at the end about, if they don't listen to you, what's the wording? If they don't listen to you, keep quiet. What's the word? If you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. He's been speaking out a lot as he's so good and they're winning, but I wonder if this is A, wide receivers being divas, which is standard, fair, and B, how much of his salary is bonuses relating to catches, touchdowns, and Pro Bowls.
Does he think he just invented quiet quitting? People have been on to for a good decade now, where do no more, get your head down, take your paycheck, leave.
But there again, Joel, he's not being quiet about it, is he? Because he's sending cryptic tweets.
But quiet quitters aren't quiet. Like a quiet quitter will tell you. Like it's how do you know someone's a vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. How do you know somebody's a quiet quitter? It's all right. It's coming.
The best bit was when he quit. My first when I saw that when he sent that tweet, my first instant reaction was the Denny Carter famous tweet strikes again, because it always lands. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Where he says, typical QB tweet, love my teammates, God is good. RB tweet, keep grinding. TE tweet, derp. Wide receiver tweet, the enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife. I was like, it always proves bang on. And then I went to AJ Brown's Twitter page, and that tweet is pinned at the top of the page and has been for 2 years.
Amazing.
Like, the self-awareness is spectacular.
That is good. God bless you.
Yeah.
I fully hate this, by the way. I think it's just awful. Like, it's not even, like, it's not, I don't even think it is wide receivers being divas, because, like, although you've said, like, his contract's incentive-based, he still gets everything that he should be getting paid for. Like, the only thing that went down last year was his receptions. Like, it went down from, like, 100 to 90 or something like that. But he still got the same amount of touchdowns that he did, like, the year before. So he's still got 7 TDs. He's still, like, his yards per, like, reception is still up there with one of the best in the league. Like, and obviously, as you've already said, they've won 20 games in a row. Like, what are we doing? Stop crying about nothing. There is this entire, the fact that we're talking about this in the news, AJ, is your fault. Like, people have had to spend 6 minutes doing this because you're a whiny baby. Like, what are we doing here, mate? Calm down. You've fallen out. You're undefeated. If you were in the Chiefs, if it was the Chiefs, like how we were looking at the Chiefs this week, they're 1-3, and everyone's like, "Oh, can they do it? Is Jalen Hurts really still the guy?" And then they go out and lay an egg against the Ravens. Do you think Travis Kelce's coming on like his Instagram and like posting this and going, "Oh yeah, no, Taylor's album launches next week. I'm just going to go to a couple of album launch parties because like that's going to be better than training this week because we suck." No one's going to do this. Even Hollywood Brown would do that, and that guy's a diva because his name is Hollywood.
There are better receivers that would kill to be on that Eagles team. There are so many that would line up to be like, to go on the previous Super Bowl champions who are undefeated, who I could just go and be the star on and just keep my mouth shut. I'd probably take a pay cut just to get to a Super Bowl. Like, you could absolutely like trade him out just for take your pick, take a A1 receiver, just swap him out. Let's just do that. Like, if you're ungrateful, just leave. There's the door, mate.
If I was Devontae Smith, I'd be in Jalen Hurts here saying, "Don't listen to him, mate. I still love you. You need someone to throw to next week."
He's rubbing his shoulders.
I love you. Remember that birthday card?
Single one, baby.
Yeah.
That has been the news, and now to I'm guessing semi controversial topic at halftime. Halftime, which is way past the halftime, but that's not the point. Now you see me is what I've called it, and I've put in the notes, nice to see these players show up finally, and I'm going to list them and then we're going to have a bit of a chat. So I'm going to leave the obvious one to last. Gianti, we've already spoke about him, finally showed up, especially for my fantasy team where I took him in the second round. The first pick of the second round, but still second round. Getting his 3 touchdowns, that was really nice. Tyler Warren, who Pete has questions as to why I put him in there, but it's because he finally got a touchdown. That's why he's in there. Drake London actually looked like the Drake London that everyone was hyping up in the preseason. Everybody was like, great news. Penix is there. Drake London's going to be his guy. This is going to be a thing. Was it a particularly easy game for him? I think so, but still, being relaxed does a lot to it. Someone's put George Pickens, but I would argue that he's been pretty great throughout the season so far. Just kind of underrated. Woody Marks has been mentioned. Hampton, I didn't write that one, so I don't know which Hampton we're talking about. But the one that has extra notes added is I put Bijan because I feel like I haven't heard Bijan's name at all so far this season. And then I have a look and he finally gets his first rushing touchdown. I've recently found out that he had a receiving touchdown at some point, but I've completely forgot that because it was completely forgettable because he's been completely forgettable. And I've stuck his actual facts in here, which is 4.9 yards per carry. At the weekend, it was only 4.4 against the Washington football team. And he's had as many touchdowns as he had fumbles this week, which is one on one. So I was just pleased to see. Well, I wasn't really pleased because it's Falcon, but still, it was good to see that big players have started to do big things. The people that have been drafted in a lot of people's like first, second round fantasy leagues are starting to like show up and whatnot. Unless they're one of the 1,800 that have been injured or their QB's been injured. People like Jonty, Bijan, Drake London, George Pickens, not George Pickens, don't have an excuse other than you just do better, please. I'm opening the floor to the Bijan conversation before we have a little chat about any of the others.
I think, I mean, he's been playing well. I think it's because it's the Falcons, and the Falcons have felt a little bit. I don't really know what to make of the Falcons right now, and that's probably why it is. It's the team and the market that is partly what it is. I think if people have him in fantasy, they're like, I love Bijan. Bijan's amazing. He's been amazing all the time. But if you're not looking at it from a fantasy angle, I think it's just they've been up and down. They've been a bit of an odd team. I think the Falcons this year, and that's probably what is giving that of just like, is he really? Has he been what I was hoping was? And I kind of felt similar to last year because I said I've got quite a lot of fantasy teams. I don't think I'd Bijan anywhere. I've just not been lucky enough or bad enough in any of my dynasty leagues to be able to draft him. And then so is that like the Falcons are a bit here nor there. They're kind of a middle of the road team, so they're not so bad that they pull focus for that, and they're not so good that they're on all the time. So yeah, I think that's probably what it is. It's the small market syndrome, perhaps, and the not liking the Falcons doesn't help.
Well, the flip side of that is that like, yes, this is his breakout run, and like he's gone a lot on the ground and done this, that, the other. But through 4 weeks, only 3 players have had at least 100 yards from scrimmage every single week. There's only 3, and that like the company that he's keeping is massive. It's Bijan Robinson, James Cook with arguably the best team in football at the moment, the Buffalo Bills, and Christian McCaffrey, who is like he's getting it the other way. He's getting like 85 yards through the air and 15 yards through the ground instead of that. And you could look at it and say probably Bijan's been doing exactly the same thing because you're looking at the reality of the NFL this season and you're going, especially before this week, well, who's the run team? Who's the team that's running the ball like well and effective and more and more and more and more? And then you look at this list and you go, well, Bijan Robinson did this week, Austin Gentry. You've then got Woody Marks and the Texans run game actually picking up and deciding to do it. And you've got Amari Hampton from the Chargers deciding to run 181 yards. Like you've got all of them that have then decided to go, hello, we're still here. We exist. This part of the NFL isn't dead. So, Bijan Robinson's amazing. There's a reason why a couple of people thought he should go number 1 in many fantasy drafts. Personally, I had to have Derrick Henry this week.
Yeah. And like you compare that to CMC, like we said there, with those 100 yards from scrimmage in every game. Christian McCaffrey is currently on pace to have over 400 opportunities this season. He's getting
He's the
targeted.
only Niner that's like genuinely good and healthy, which sounds crazy when we're talking about CMC.
Yeah, it's bonkers. 69 rushing attempts so far, 31 receptions, but the most rushing yards he's got is 69 yards. So he's not really doing it on the ground. He's doing all right.
He's doing everything else. He's blocking, he's kicking.
Else. Yeah,
I think he's probably thrown one or two.
Good, everything else just pulls it up. And Bijan's playing way better. But I think because every time, whether you're watching Renton or whether you're watching the game, every time the Niners offense is in, McCaffrey's there. So that pulls focus. Cook's getting so many touchdowns, and the Bills are an exciting team, so you want to tune into them, don't you? So you see those big teams and those for that reason, I think.
Yeah, and this list is literally just is great to see like players doing something that you want to see do something, and yeah, like Hampton, Marks, Pickens, just at the bottom of that list, all deserve their flowers this week because they've really like stepped up. I don't like using the term like mid-season form or anything like that. I think that's kind of a semi-myth. Like good players do good things. I think they are starting to gel and get back into it, and all of them quite interesting to keep an eye on. So welcome back, everybody. No topic of the week this week. We're going straight into the Pick'em and Flick'em. I've just spotted that we've got a comment here from Harry Egerton. Bijan, forgettable. He was RB2, RB8, and RB14 over the first 3 weeks. I would say that RB14 makes that quite forgettable, actually. I know 14 isn't top 14 is top 14, but for Bijan, I would say being the 14th and the 8th is not where I expect him. I would see him top 3.
Isn't the week where he was also RB14 the week that they got blown out and didn't score a single point?
Well, last week against the Panthers, was it?
Yeah. That would have seen him be RB14 that week, is because they got blown out and they didn't do it. RB8, I think that was the week that McCaffrey went 150 from like both scrimmage and doing everything like that, and that everyone decided to actually run, and that was Marx's first week. I think. That was Woody Marx's first week of like blowout stuff. So like, I can completely see it from Harry's point of view. Also, like, really just actually understood what RB 3, 8, and 14 actually meant for the first time ever in a fantasy angle. So I'm really proud of myself there.
You're not the big fantasy player like us, are you? So much.
Growing as a person, week on week, is Alex. It's not just the beard, but also his knowledge of the game and the game outside the game. Which anybody wants any real good fantasy advice, obviously listen to the first 5 minutes of this podcast. Usually Alex has something that he wants to drop on fantasy people. Outside of all of Alex's really good suggestions, please do shoot into the Thursday show with Murph and the flagship fellas. But anyway, on to the Pick'em and Flick'em, underdogs, overdogs, wombling free. The 5-yard Pick'em. Don't know the next line of the womble soon. Come on, Eileen. I'm just gonna chat on myself again. Nobody but me picked the Giants last week. Picked them. Everybody else flicked him. So pat my back. Other underdogs that I picked: Steelers won. Kansas City, that little underdog, they did all right this week. Picked them to win as well. I did also pick the Browns, Jets, and Titans. They lost. I did not have a particularly good week. I call this the Alex, where I just went 8-8. I was neither here nor there. It was just his week 1 performance, and that's what I think of whenever I get that. But I'm 40-24. Pete's 40-24. Alex was keeping up and in lockstep with us, but slipped a little bit this week and has gone 37-27. So does anybody have any kind of like underdogs or overdogs that they want to like have a little shout out about this week?
Yes, I do. I've picked 4 underdogs. And I think I went 8-8, same as you last time. I think part of that is I was a few wins behind the top, so I'm starting to take a few moonshots and going, this is where I think I can see that happening. Having Titans winning in Houston was a particular low point because of how bad they were.
Right there with you, mate. Right there with you. I think we convinced one another last week that was going to happen. And then for most of that game, I think I even sent the Cripple Fight gift from South Park being like, God, this Texans Titans game, nothing is happening. And then I must have blinked and it was like 24-0. I have no idea what happened. I still don't know what happened. I tried to watch the highlights. It just goes fuzzy at one point and the score changes from 0 to 24. So who actually knows? But yes,
this is my punishment for missing the pod. Obviously, is I picked the Titans. So like I missed the pod. I then missed this chat, and you guys convincing me to go the Texans, and that cost me there.
Because we all picked the Titans.
No, we picked the Titans.
We all picked the Titans.
Ignore me then. Ignore me then. I'm very happy.
Do not follow us for any betting advice for anybody, by the way. I just want to throw that one out there. We are picking them based on vibes mostly, I think, at this point. But Pete, go on, you've got 4 underdogs this week.
Bucks are currently only 40% win probability in Seattle, and I think they'll win that. I think Seattle's been good, and I was on record praising Darnold and the team last week, but I think the Bucks will do them there. I've got a couple with question marks. It depends on the health of their quarterbacks, but I think the Giants will win if Dart is playing, but not if he isn't, which is kind of obvious. They're playing the Saints, so they should win, but Saints...
Stop you right there. I didn't want to be the one to mention the New Orleans Saints, but seeing as somebody else did, it's a bit of a Joe Hendry moment. Who else saw the New Orleans Saints do an incredible job at the ethical tank this week? Like, how close did they look like they could beat the Bills at one point? Like, there were some people like, oh gosh, like this Saints team, like they're 0-3, but they're keeping up with the Bills, and I'm sat there cackling in my ethical tank bubble, just saying, doesn't matter. Don't worry, Bills fans. It's not happening. We do not want to win. We just want to keep looking like we're going to. Thank you. That has been the week 4 ethical tank moment brought to you by New Orleans. Do you continue?
They were dash at the school sports day, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ease up. Yeah.
Can I make a request for the ethical tank moment? Can it be Spencer Rattler's face, like photoshopped onto Joe Hendry's?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
I'll see what I can do. I'll get around to some copyrights.
But there's the other part of me that goes, I think if Dart's there, I think they'll have enough. But the Saints won't want to go 0-16. 0-17, sorry. They won't, because nobody wants that monkey on their back, because nobody, if you lose 1-16, people don't remember it in years to come, but everybody remembers the 0-16.
The year that you got Andy Luck.
Say again?
The year that you got Andy Luck Colts. That was 0-16.
Yeah.
Stuck for luck.
Was they 0-16? I thought the Lions was the 0-16 team, weren't they? And the Browns with Deshaun Kaiser. I didn't think the Colts were 0-16. But yeah, it's just that just stays forever like luggage. So I think this will be the game they probably want to try and win. I've also put a question mark on Washington. I think Washington will win if Daniels is back, and they'll lose if he's not. And probably the bigger reach is I think the Browns beat Minnesota in London. Their defensive line is so good, and we saw Carson Wentz just got mauled, absolutely mauled on Sunday by TJ Watt and crew. And I think we're going to see the same again. I think the Steelers line is fantastic. I think the Browns line is the best in football. And And Minnesota's O-line's just banged up. So I can see the Browns winning a really ugly, ugly game. Like a 7-6 thriller.
I hope it isn't a 7-6 thriller. I also do have them as one of my underdogs. I'm going to the game myself. Daddy Mayo, Mayday, and CEO Murph are all getting together in London to go to Tottenham Stadium. I get to sit in Tottenham Stadium with 2 Arsenal fans, so that's fun. And I'm not going to sit next to either of them. I expect them to burst into flames, to be honest with you. But I cannot wait, and I'm going to watch Myles Garrett. That's it. This is like gonna go to an NSYNC show just to watch Justin Timberlake. That's it. That's all that's happening here. I don't know who he's going to end up smushing. I was kind of hoping to see JJ throw a few out there. Quite happy to see Carson Wentz get his head kicked in by Myles Garrett. That's perfectly fine. Again, the win probability is for the Vikings, and same as this last week, where I just didn't think they had a snowball's chance in hell against the Steelers. I don't think that they do against the Cleveland Browns, because Cleveland they seem to keep in a game just enough, and then all of a sudden everything goes wrong. This week, when I was watching them against the Lions, they genuinely looked quite good. And then similar to the Texans-Titans game, like I blinked and all of a sudden the Lions had scored like 20 points. And I have no idea how that happened. Obviously, defenses get tired and everything. But I didn't think the Lions looked particularly great. I had Cleveland having a sneaky win this week against the Lions, and then coming over here off the back of that one. But yeah, I've got Cleveland over Minnesota. Same as you, I've got Tampa over Seattle. I don't understand why anybody would think that Baker Mayfield-led team would lose there. It was really disappointing for Baker and everybody this week against the Eagles. It just didn't look very good. My other underdog is, although you've trashed them, I have got Vegas to beat the Indianapolis Colts this week.
Wow.
Look, everyone pulled the same face when I said the Giants were going to beat the Chargers last week. I just feel like that I saw enough with Vegas and given enough course correction. Also, I don't believe in the Colts. It was fun while it lasted. We had the few weeks, but nobody seriously thinks that the Colts are going to continue to win. They've taken an L now. It was just a nice get everybody in the mood for football. The script has been written. Go back to losing every single game. Colts to end up with the 5th pick in the draft next year. That's it. Now, Colts to not win another game going forward. And I do have a lock this week. I've not gone as simple as I did last week. I've picked Dallas to beat the Jets. There's not a lot in it when you look at the win probabilities, but for whatever reason, I think Dallas are like 53% to beat the Jets at 47%, which is crazy because to me the Cowboys looked great even without CD Lamb there. They're still managing to chuck it about a bit. The Jets didn't look particularly ferocious. The Jets also are coming off a short week. So even though it's a 53-47, I think that's just an absolute shoe-in for Dallas to do that one. Alex, what you got?
I have 2. One is the Baltimore Ravens are currently underdogs on Sleeper.
Okay.
The 1-3 Baltimore Ravens underdogs. Shock.
Against the 1-3 Houston Texans who just got shut out.
What? No.
They are. They're currently underdogs.
Wow.
Because there's no Lamar.
Okay.
Because there's no Lamar.
Yeah.
You've got Cooper
Derrick
Rush.
Henry show.
But here's the thing: Cooper Rush won Dallas a couple of games last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and to literally quote Pete, they've got a human being the size of a small car. Like
That's right. That's a direct quote.
Yeah.
The Ravens should win this game pretty easily, in my opinion. Also, they've got arguably the best kicker in football. Tyler Loop's amazing. I love that kid. And the other one, Pete already robbed it with the Bucks for some reason are underdogs against the Seahawks. I don't get that whatsoever. Baker will torch them. And the big one, even though they're not an underdog, I think this is a really big prove me week for not only Kyler Murray but the Cardinals.
Yes,
because there were a couple of QBs that were on that edge of like, right, get it together, or we are just going to replace you. I think Trevor Lawrence is one of them, but obviously over the last 2 weeks he's kind of picked it up and started getting Liam Cohen's system. And the other one is Kyler Murray, because if he continues to give them a losing season, I don't think he will be the QB of the Arizona Cardinals next season. And that's a big deal, because then does it mean Cliff Kingsbury's entire thing that he wanted to do has failed and all small QBs can't do it? And then that's it. We're doing it. So then what does that mean for the Panthers QB, Young, or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. He's also really small. Does that mean that his career's looked to doom? Oh, well, you look at the Panthers this year. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, was Cliff Kingsbury completely wrong? Prove me that he wasn't Cardinals, and let's do that. I will give you a lock of the week though, because I'm a nice man of that, and I will go in a direct lock off. I'm going to direct lock off. I think the Jets will beat the Cowboys this week.
Ooh. Look at
I like that.
All right.
I didn't put my lock, and I'm going to stick one in there. Lions v Bengals, obviously, but the handicap on that is 10.5 points, and I think the Bengals cover that handily.
No.
The Lions cover that handily.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Sorry.
The Lions it's going to be 30-7. Maybe
they're going to put a quick
36,
score on them.
goals.
Yeah, they'll demolish them. Absolutely demolish them. I would be. I'm looking for the bigger handicap to bet my children's university fund on.
Who's the third string QB in Cincinnati?
Oof,
do they have one?
I think it might be you, Alex. I'm just having a look.
They'll have like a random rookie, won't they? It is Brett Ripien. Sorry, so it's not. It's the ex-Broncos.
On the tip of my tongue, there, Brett Ripien. That might be only the 2 times that his name's been said out loud.
He might get minutes this week, because I honestly think that Lions defense, excuse the pun, will maul them.
Yes,
fair play. I wanted to call this week's pod like Lions, Bengals, Tigers. Oh my! But the Bengals really ruined that, because they're not an oh my team, are they? Like, so.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh no. Yeah. Right, I guess to play us out, what's the game everybody is going to have their eye on? Obviously, I'm going to be in the south, in the Big Smoke, watching the Vikings Browns. So probably won't see any other game that day. So I'm going to have to try and play catch up for the pod. Also, I'm not going to be a very reliable person on the pod, because chances are I might have had too many martinis whilst watching the Browns play. But what's everybody looking forward to?
I'm going to go for Chiefs Jags. And this is more from the Jags, and I'd never thought I would say this. They've looked really good these last few weeks. They are impressing and they're growing, and I really want to see how they do in a big spot now and see if they can really put a statement game down. Even if they don't win, if they play the Chiefs close here, I'll really start to take them seriously. And I think they could make a splash, which would be a nice change for them, to be honest.
Yeah, plenty of takeaways this weekend. I was just watching the highlights before the show started, because I just wanted to refresh a little bit. Like the Jags, they've got an opportunity. I can see it. Go on, Alex. Yeah. What's the one you're watching?
I will be watching Thursday night / Friday morning football of the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm having to do a 180 and really back this Los Angeles Rams team, and really, really do it, because they're just good. Like, there's no excuse for it. They're just really, really good. Their defense is awesome. They absolutely battered the Colts this week in terms of defensively, and were amazing. And Matthew Stafford, as long as he's upright, can apparently play quarterback.
Yeah, he's been great this year. He's been really good this year.
So
Fair enough.
I like
There you
that.
go. That's the ones to watch. So from Pete, Alex, myself, cool outro saying. Yeah, we did it.